the TT-33 Tokarev pistol. This particular one is a Romanian manufactured one. The Soviets designed this automatic pistol around 1930 and came up with some modifications shortly afterwards, and the model designation was changed to the TT-33 pistol. They manufactured it as a replacement for the revolvers during World War II. Didn't really get up to speed and totally replace the old Nagant revolvers. And then in the post-war years, most of your Soviet satellite countries manufactured these guns. This particular one was made in 1953. Mostly Poland, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, Romania, the Chinese made these all under, the communist bloc, freely manufactured designs amongst each other. And most of these that came in, they were probably kind of hard to find at one point in time, way back. But then when the Chinese started importing them, they were a pretty common gun. Both in, as this one also is calibered in 7.62 by 25. That's what the gun was originally chambered in. The Yugoslavs, as time went on, made a copy of this. I think they even changed the designation 57 or 58 in 9mm. And they still make a variant of this, which is commercially available in a 9mm. You find them every now and again. Though, so as surplus guns go, these Romanian ones are still available at JG Wholesale, a little over $200. This particular gun I got at a gun auction. They had a bunch of stuff there, anything from expensive side-by-side shotguns. They had some military surplus stuff and a lot of sporting guns also. It was a small auction company here locally, and everybody was looking at this pistol, and nobody was going to bid on it, so I figured I'd get it cheap. But the way the auction ran, the guy had reserves, and the person that put it in the auction wanted at least $200 for it, so I ended up paying $200, and it isn't bad. Now, if you look at the description, some of them tell you the bores are dark. Gander Mountain locally had about 2 dozen of these in a glass case at one time. And I went up there on Black Friday and they had a sale on them. And I looked down the bore. They didn't have a bore light or nothing. The bore looked pretty crappy. This one, when I looked down, it looked like it had some crud growing in there, rust or something. I brought it home and put an oversized brush in it, scrubbed it out with some Ballistol, and it's got like a mint bore in it. So, you used to be able to get them. Poland, I think, after the Chinese stuff, they stopped importing in the United States. Poland version of this was imported, and the Yugoslav versions, a lot of their pistols were imported. But now that they've cut everything off, it's all drying up. And I guess the last of them, you can still get these, some online dealers, the Romanian version, which isn't bad. It's all basically the same gun. The history of the gun itself, the Russians designed this pistol, and what they kind of did is they blended several of John Browning's designs in. The lines look like the older Browning Model 03. It's kind of sleek. It's a neat gun. It handles well in the hand. It's not as bulky as a 45, but it's bigger than them 32 automatic pocket pistols. And the design is very similar to the 1911 A1. You see, it has the slide release here. And that also is how you disassemble the gun. You go around on this side, and there's like this, call it a clover pin or whatever. You slide this thing back and free this pin. It goes into a little groove in this pin here. And once that pin is free, you disassemble it, much like the 45. You slide it back, get the slide release out, and then the whole top part of the gun comes off like a 45. But where a 45, where you get the bushing and the recoil spring out first, that's not the way you do it here. You take all of that out at once, and the key is, if you go to somebody's disassembly video, they'll show you. When you pull the slide off and expose the spring, you kind of keep your finger over it, hold down on it, or else it'll fly out. Then you go here, and once you get, there's a little plug on the end of the spring that'll be loose, and then you just rotate this around to about 190 degrees, and then the bushing comes out. Where on the 1911A1, you push down on the spring, rotate it to one side, take the spring and the cap out, and then the bushing will come out. And it also locks up very similar with two round rings around the barrel, which it tilts, and it's got a little pivot in there, a little tilt bushing, and that's how it locks up, much like the 1911. Now, another thing you'll find, skip that, I was going to talk about the safety, but also what's kind of unusual about this gun is it has a push button mag release up here, other than the usual heel style down here that the Europeans like. To get the mag out of this one, you got a button there, you push it, and it drops out. Which is another, I guess, part of the Browning design, which is nice. Everybody here in America likes that push button better than the heel, which they went back to on the Makarov, the handgun they made after this. Okay. The gun originally does not have a manual safety. So you will see that to get these imported, all of these pistols had to be modified one way or the other. And generally this is the location where the safety is for the gun, right here. And you can see where they had to machine it out and drill a hole in this whole apparatus right here is added on. Now, I've seen videos where people take this out and try to plug the holes up and everything. I kind of don't recommend doing it. I mean, it looks a little crappy. It's a quick fix to get the guns imported, but can't hurt having an extra safety. Which, make sure it's in the... And I believe usually up is safe, down is fire. Yep. So that's the one modification was done on all of them, no matter which country they were brought into. They did slip a few original Russian ones in under the wire, and the company was selling them without the safety, but then the ATF caught on, were hunting people down and bought them and trying to get the guns back and everything, so you can find some in the original condition. Also unique to this is when you pull this apart, the whole hammer mechanism slides out of the back, comes out as one unit. That's another kind of unique feature on this. And if you go to somebody's disassembly video on YouTube, you can see this. I'm not going to make one on this. It's pretty redundant. Now, they put the manual safety on, but I really believe the way this pistol was designed to work without that manual safety is it's a single action. The gun will not fire double action. It's an older design. And you got the hammer all the way down where it hits the firing pin, and if you could look inside, you'll see the firing pin's probably sticking out the face there. So you got the one position which we'll call home, and if you come back a little bit, you hear it click, you notice that takes the hammer face off the firing pin and locks it into a notch. We'll call it half cock. It's not half cocked back like a 45, but it's back enough and locked in. Once you do that, that locks the whole pistol. The pistol won't move. So I believe how the gun was designed is you would load it, put your thumb on a hammer, and gently lower it down until it gets into that position, which if you notice here is off the firing pin. It's back a bit. And then you holster it, the gun is locked, probably in a safe position. You would unholster the gun, manually cock it, and then you're ready to go. Pretty basic sights, pretty basic gun. It's all steeled and blued, which I kind of like. And I took it out and fired it, and we'll show you my first time firing it in a little clip after this. And if you noticed here on the front, I painted a little yellow nail polish on the front sight blade to pick it up better. It works good. I had it out yesterday. I didn't film shooting it the second time. But the gun is very accurate. It functions, 100%. I had absolutely no problem with this gun whatsoever. Once I scrubbed the bore out, had a mint bore, the gun is, I found, super accurate. And the only thing I'm shooting in it is this pretty crappy Polish surplus ammo I bought from 1950 something just for the supply dried out. And the cases are split, corroded somewhat. This ammo doesn't do very well in my CZ pistol, is what I bought it for. At one time this surplus ammo was plentiful, now it's not. It's kind of hard to find. But this pistol eats this ammo. I tried selling this stuff, people wouldn't buy it. They look at it and go, that's the stuff that come in, it was 1954 or something. It ain't even worth buying, but it works good and it's accurate. I didn't really formally test it, but I know it is, for what it is, it's very accurate. It's an accurate gun. I've shot a couple hundred rounds through it, that surplus ammo of questionable quality, and it works. It's another interesting piece of history, interesting design. I really didn't fool around with them much, but now I kind of regret it because it's a nice handling pistol. It's not a concealed carry gun, but it's accurate, hard hitting, and functions very reliable. Magazines, I think it's an 8-round magazine. There's 2 places currently selling them. Now, usually you like to get these with a holster and a spare mag, and I didn't. But finding accessories ain't bad. JG Wholesales and Centerfire Systems were the only places I pull up on AmmoSeek that had magazines, and they're both used. They don't have new mags. But you can get them from them 2 places, and with the shipping and handling, it's going to end up costing you about 20 bucks a mag. So I got 2 spare mags, one on eBay, and ordered a leather holster from somebody in the Soviet Union. So I'm getting a Soviet-made holster to go with this. I think the guy throws in a lanyard and a cleaning rod. It was 28 bucks with shipping and handling and everything from somewhere in Russia. So I'm going to get a holster for it because I like to keep them in the holster, keep the mags and that all together. Not a bad deal. If you get a chance to pick one up, it used to be great when you get the surplus ammo for almost nothing. You can shoot it all day. It is corrosive ammo, so you got to make sure you clean it well. But it's really a nice design, a classic design, and a nice all-around gun. You can find these in 9mm if you get the Yugoslav ones and that, which a lot of people like because of the ammunition. You can get reloadable ammunition made, and I think one company, I forget which one, makes jacketed hollow point, which if you can get some reliable factory fresh ammo with a jacketed hollow point, I'm going to do an ammunition test later on this, I'm going to buy it. Then you got a pretty good defense gun that's inexpensive at around 200 bucks. They're a pretty good deal, And then reloading for it. I always intended to reload. The only other pistol I have in this caliber is the CZ, or the Czech pistol. I forget if it's 53 or 54, the model. Those are another neat deal. Came with a holster, cleaning rod, spare mag, and that for they were like 120 bucks for the whole rig, or 130 for they dried up and are gone, never to be seen again. But that's kind of my review on it. And there's several other videos on YouTube. You know, you can find one on disassembling this gun fairly easy. And that I'm not going to do it because, you know, the videos the other people made are adequate and explain it well enough that you can figure it out. Now I'm going to go on to where I shot it and do a little bit of me shooting the pistol. Okay, we're out here today with our Romanian copy of the Russian T-33 Tokarev pistol. Picked this gun up at an auction. So I'm going to try it out at 10 yards, just fooling around with it. I made a video doing an overview of this gun. But we're going to go at 10 yards, and I'm using some surplus Polish ammunition, 7.65 by 25. It was made in the 50s. It's pretty old ammo. Run another clip through. Go look at the target. Alright, at 10 yards, that ain't too bad for surplus gun. That old ammunition that's not really in the best of shape. That's a pretty accurate pistol. I mean, for an old military surplus weapon.